Who do you like better? Paul, Dylan, Chelsea, Jim, or Holly? Did that sound like Holly?
Yes.
I heard wood creaking in the back here.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
My walkie?
Yeah.
Were you rolling?
Yeah.
What the hell was
I
that?
had that.
So, if you're not benevolent, am I being stalked by my friends from the military museum last night? You know, the Nazis. Are Nazi ghosts following me here? Did I make contact with something in that military museum from a bygone era? Holy. Uh-oh. That's not good. Ghost Nazis might be here with us from the Western Counties Military Museum. Probably not the best idea I ever had. Cool, we're done in here. I am done with Ghost Nazis, and that there's coincidences in this world which I'm keen on and I believe in, but you know what? I've seen and experienced enough to know a synchronicity when I see one, and that's just like crazy. Anyway. Okay, thanks. That's done for this year. Oh, Jesus!
You okay?
It was like, I gotta push. Paul out.
If I never step into that place ever again in my life, I'll be okay with it. Shit's scary, yo.
After our investigation of the Seaside Community Centre in Clark's Harbour, the team returned home to Halifax to review the evidence we had gathered during our investigations along Nova Scotia's South Shore, and to process our own personal experiences. A few weeks later, we hit the road again, this time heading north to scenic Parrsboro, an historic village nestled along the shore of the Minas Basin, and home to one of the oldest buildings in the province, the Ottawa House Museum, which served in the late 19th century as the summer home for Sir Charles Tupper, a father of Confederation and a Prime Minister of Canada. The question we were there to answer was whether it now served as the home for someone or something, not political, but paranormal.
So Ed, you were saying that there was a battle that took place down here?
Yes.
Can you point that out to me a bit?
A privateer from Machias during the Revolutionary War. I think it was in June 1780. They came up, anchored off here, and put a crew ashore to raid. About 7 or 8 men came ashore to raid the house that the ferry operator owned over just over here to the east. And while they were raiding the house, they hadn't realized there was some soldiers there waiting for that ferry. The ferry was over in the Avon River at the time, and when they were coming out of the house with their arms laden with booty and so on, the soldiers surprised them with 5 soldiers under Lieutenant Wheaton. And of course, some of the privateers were still armed, and there was a bit of a battle took place, and 3 of the privateers and 1 of the soldiers were killed, and the rest of them were captured. Yeah, and the story was that they buried them down here on the marsh.
So Ed, I understand that you actually maybe saw a ghost or something one day here.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe. We were struck by lightning here a couple of years ago, and lightning hit the chimney up here, blew the chimney apart, and hit that wire fence. And Bruce Wark, who was a former journalist in one of the group here, Him and I arrived here about the same time, somewhere around 5 o'clock, I think. And we went around to look and see how much damage had been done. We knew the chimney had been hit. There were bricks all over the place. I walked up on the grass behind the building first, and I was looking at the damage. And then he walked up, and while he was looking, I was sort of looking around, just looking around the roof to see if there was any other damage. I thought I saw something like a white form, almost like a cloud of white smoke or something, in the window, and it just seemed to fade back from the window. I don't really know what I saw, but it was strange enough so that I couldn't figure out what I had seen. That's the chimney that was hit.
Okay.
And as I looked back across the roof, I just happened to see something like sort of vague and white in the middle of that window.
Right there.
I was standing over there, so I was a bit on the other side of it.
Okay.
And it sort of just seemed to fade back from the window. And first I was wondering what it was, and I thought it might be a shadow of a cloud, but the sun was over there.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what it was, whether it was somebody playing a trick on me or not.
Was there anyone else in the building?
No.
There was no one in the building.
There was people in the building, but they were downstairs. There was no one upstairs.
No one upstairs.
No, we generally don't allow anyone upstairs except the crew that are working, if anybody's working there. At this particular time, I think it was a Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, there had been something going on here, and there was no one.
No one there.
There was
So
no one
a
there.
mist, not necessarily a full form of a person.
No, not a form. Sort of like almost as though there was something vague and white like a white cloud.
But inside the building.
Only almost the height of the window, and it drifted away from the window.
Okay. Well, we're going to be up in there later tonight, so maybe we'll see if we can
Maybe
see what it was
maybe
you
you'll
saw.
meet her.
Her?
The lady who used to stay here
Oh.
at night, the young lady who used to stay here and sleep here at night, she was visiting here a couple of years ago, maybe it was last year, and she was telling me about when she used to be here. And she said there was a spirit here,
Okay.
a young woman, and she said, and she's friendly.
And did she say what her name was?
No, she didn't. If there's any ghost here, I would think it might be Sarah Jane Ratchford, who was the last survivor of the Ratchford family, who all died of tuberculosis.
The whole family died?
The whole family died of tuberculosis.
Here?
Sarah Jane, they didn't actually die in this place. I don't know if any of them actually died here, but they all got sick here.
Oh.
At least the three of them that I know of. The oldest sister died, and then the young brother Tom, and Sarah Jane was living in St. John, and she was sick too. She was about 18, and she sold the place to her uncle. Sold everything that she owned here, that her father had owned here, to her uncle. And she didn't live very long after that either.
Wow. All right.
It was a rather sad thing that the
Very.
whole family were lost.
All right, so this is the area that Ed saw a figure, Mr. Cloud, in the window when he was outside. It is very, very hot up here. I haven't been into this room. Let's just go in while we're doing this. Looks cozy. It's very nice. It is just me up here right now. That I know of. This area, there was a girl that was pushed. Felt like somebody was grabbing at her in this particular room. Let's just go and have a look outside. There's a lot of dead flies. Look, there they are. Don't look at the flies. Don't look at the flies. That goes downstairs. Okay, so we're gonna go leave this little recorder up here where there's nobody here. They have had reports of people looking up at this window here and seeing a woman standing. This room has an odd feel to it. Very.
Because we're in the attic, which is super hot, but also apparently super haunted. This is where somebody has gotten pushed and grabbed, and people have seen women in the windows. So we're gonna go check a lighting thing just before we actually get started. But I figured, hey, let's film this just in case. I think Holly brought something up here.
What? What do you mean? This one? Like,
This
no.
is aimed towards our camera.
no, no, it's not. It's the other one.
Look out the window. Our camera's right down there.
Yeah, and it's this window over here.
So he saw one in this window?
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because that's the window someone else saw someone in. Isn't it? This window.
Huh. Yeah, that's in 150. Alright, well. We got it safe this time.
Okay, this is Holly at the Ottawa House in Parrsboro. It is 9:13 p.m. on July the 5th, 2017. I am upstairs in the attic. Probably will hear me on a second recorder, which I've just placed down in the window. Well, there's lots of windows up here, but window number 1, facing ocean.
Okay, so earlier we set some of like the alphabet cubes that kids play with. We set them in the room over here, the little teaching area, and we put out enough letters to spell Paul or Holly, but there's only 2 L's, so it would have to choose. We skewered them and curious if they've changed. Nope. Nothing yet. Do you feel weird in here?
A little, but not overly.
I feel more weird in here than I did before.
Maybe that's because something's trying to
Okay.
spell out the words.
Not fair, not fair.
Oh, it's dark down here. Hope there are no rats. All right. So here we are, sitting in the basement of the Ottawa House. And apparently, because this house has been here for a couple hundred years and has served multiple functions, including as a summer home for Sir Charles Tupper, our 6th Prime Minister, but also as I understand it, an inn. It was active in privateering days. This property was here. There was even a battle down there between privateers from Machias, Maine, and British soldiers who were garrisoned nearby. I believe that was the War of 1812. So one of the things in the house that's been reported are soldiers, or a soldier, down here, seen in the basement, which might have been back in the old days, sort of where he would have had the tavern, perhaps. So, if that spirit or ghost or whatever you want to call it is here, feel free to make contact.
Yes.
We're hearing stuff upstairs. Holy shit, it's cold down here.
Yeah, it's dropped a degree and a half in 3 minutes. 21.4. There we go.
Okay.
Trying to get you down to 21.
The second you started doing that, we're hearing well, it sounds like human voices coming from this way,
Right.
right above you.
You should wander down with the camera and film this. I've got this little dude watching this.
Okay, cool. We've heard it twice,
All right.
and it's not Randy because we've been watching.
Okay. We're at 21.4, 21.3. It looks like you're interacting. This is awesome. Yes, sir. This is the old British salute like this. This is the kind of stuff that won us the War of 1812, frankly. The Americans lost. We all know the Americans lost that war. I mean, we took Washington and burned the White House. I don't know if you... Oh, whoa, big time. Wow. Okay, that's all. Okay. So, I'm assuming you're a British soldier, and we took Washington and burned the White House. Like, is that something that kind of you find cool and good? Good? Was that a good thing? Or was that a bad thing? Maybe you're an American spirit. In which case, I would point out, you did win the Battle of New Orleans and completely overwhelmed British forces under, I think it was General Pakenham. But, yeah, okay, weird.
I've been running a little experiment since I came down here in the basement where the spirit of a soldier or soldiers has been felt and actually I think even potentially seen. So cold is my thing. That's my thing. It's been my thing for 8 years. So I've been saying, look, here's the baseline. It's cold down here to begin with, which is refreshing because it's really hot upstairs. So let's establish a baseline, which was 22.9 when I came down here, and asking the spirits or whatever might be down here to lower their temperature. And 5 to 10% in a pretty short time I consider statistically significant. So I'm seeing it again. It has gone down 2 full degrees in the last 6 minutes since I came down here, and I've been interacting with whatever might be here, theorizing that it's a soldier, theorizing that it might be from around the War of 1812 time. I've been trying to ask it questions about that, or him questions about that. The camera, hopefully the little GoPro camera we have here will pick this up. I'm not sure whether I've got it set up properly. But at one point when I was talking to whatever might be here, I said, ooh, I felt a little cold there. Sort of like I've been feeling kind of, rushes of cold every now and then coming in. When I mentioned specific subjects in particular, one of them was I kind of chided the Americans because we fought the Americans in the War of 1812. And I said, well, yeah, that was definitely a win for the British. Yay, good for us. Because we sacked in Washington and burned the White House. Huzzah! The general that did that is buried actually in Halifax. And when I said that, as I said that, the blue light lit up on the EDI, and which signifies cold and a temperature change, bloop, bloop. And I thought, cool. Are you not only dropping the temperature because it did, but you're also sort of saying, yes, 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 burn the White House, burn the White House. Then I thought, just to be on the safe side, maybe it's an American spirit, which I would find odd, but you never know. And I said, On the other hand, are you angry that we burned the White House? Because you did win the Battle of New Orleans, so it was kind of a wash and nothing. So I'm assuming it's a British spirit, and I'm assuming pro-burning of the White House. So that's, and I guess you guys were telling me that while this was all happening, and look at that, the temperature's gone down 2.5 full degrees in less than 10 minutes, which is really cool. I mean, literally and figuratively. You guys were telling me that you upstairs heard, that's my voices thing, you heard what seemed to be human voices that we couldn't account for?
So yeah, we were up there. I was sitting with Jim actually, and we were just at home base. And pretty much as soon as you started, whatever you were doing down here, we heard what sounded like a human voice, and it was kind of coming from like the main entrance of the building. So I went over there and checked. Nothing. We were taking some of the chairs and kind of moving them against the wooden floors. Kind of sounds like what we heard, but not quite. It sounded human. We've heard it twice, and we can't find out what it is. We have a security guard here, Randy, who's just watching over the places we film. We can see him where we were at. He didn't move. Holly's upstairs. We're actually watching her on the cameras. Didn't move, so we can't explain exactly what it is.
And Chelsea, you're on sound. Did you hear anything either through the headphones or otherwise when you were upstairs?
The first time I didn't hear the sound because I was just monitoring you guys, you and Holly. But the second time I had my headphones like this, so I can actually hear what's around me, and I did hear it. Like I heard a ooh almost. It was weird.
And in just the 2 minutes that we've been talking, kind of back and forth about that, the temperature has gone down to 20, now down, sort of moving down to 19.9, so we're under 20. So that is a temperature drop of 3 degrees in about 10 or 11 minutes. And I consider that, wow, major wash of cold. Like just, all right, cool. You guys head back upstairs. I'm going to continue to monitor things down here. I'll let you know if this thing gets under 19, because if it gets under 19, then we've really got something. I mean, we've already got something interesting if you're here, but if it's under 19, like that's a 4-degree drop, that's going to be really, really interesting. Do you mean either Dylan or myself or Chelsea any harm?
Did you hear somebody as if they were yelling from far away, run? Mm-hmm. You heard that too. That wasn't just me.
No.
That wouldn't have been a radio. That sounded like somebody going, run.